All right, welcome to the broadcast, everyone. Check my volumes coming out somewhere there where it's not supposed to be. Anyway, welcome to the broadcast. We have a Tuesday game that. All right, welcome to the broadcast, everyone. Welcome to the Tuesday version of baseball at KCK, the MCC Metropolitan Community College, aka Maplewoods Wolves, have come across the state line for a presumed 9-inning game today. Want to thank you for joining me. Thought I might throw my face up on the screen a little bit so you get a chance to see it. It's not on that. Well, maybe it is on that one up there now. Something I haven't necessarily done in the past. Somebody said that everybody out there kind of wants to know what you look like. So, there's what I look like. All right, where am I getting the echo? Which one of these is it coming out of? I will check this out and I will be back. All right, welcome back. We'll try that again. I had a little bit of an echo I needed to get rid of. Think I have done that. The Blue Devils are in fourth place now, just one game in the win and loss column ahead of Fort Scott Community College. Callie's in first. They're 24-4. Johnson County 20-4. Coffeyville 18-10. The Blue Devils of KCK 13-11 in fourth place. Fifth place is Fort Scott with a 12-12 record. Labette is in sixth place with an 8-16 record, and Neosho County and Allen are tied for seventh, 7-17 record, and Highland is in ninth place with a 3-21 record. So the Blue Devils would have a home game for the best 2 out of 3 to start the playoffs if it started today, but there's still work to be done. They have a 4-game series with Highland that actually starts tomorrow, so there'll be a broadcast tomorrow here at KCK. Then they will go presumably up to Highland on Saturday for the final of that 4-game series. Then the next week on Thursday, we're down at Cali, and then I will be broadcasting here a week from Saturday, the Cali game, and that will be the final game to determine where you will be as far as home or away for that best 2 out of 3 series. I'm going to take a short break. I'll be right back with the starting lineups. I'll be back. All right, let's run through the starting lineups. First for the Wolves of Aaron Meade of the Metropolitan Community College Wolves. They have a 21-26 record. They are an independent, so they don't really have a conference standing, so they are 21-26. Aaron Meade is their head coach. They'll lead off Chase Phillips in center field. Batting second in right field, Colin Morris. Batting third, the shortstop, Broxton Cole. Batting cleanup, the first baseman, Cale Conway. Batting fifth, Jesus Sosa Quintana will be at third base. Batting sixth, the designated hitter, Carson Schmidt. Batting seventh, Seth Mejia. He is the second baseman. Batting eighth, the catcher, Zach Kraft. Batting ninth, Carter Belton, the left fielder, and Trenton Mitchell will be on the mound. So it'll be Phillips, Morris, Cole, Conway, Sosa, Quintana, Schmidt, Mejia, Kraft, and Belton with Mitchell on the mound. That's the starting lineup for the Wolves of Metropolitan. Now the starters for the Kansas City, Kansas Community College Blue Devils. They're 28-18 overall. They're 13-11 in the conference on the east side in fourth place. Matt Golbeck is the head coach, their skipper, and he is in his ninth year. Leading off the shortstop, Sawyer Tolk today. Batting second at first base, Frankie Santiago. Batting third, Freddie Nolan the fourth in left field. Batting cleanup, the third baseman, Cade Perry. Batting fifth, the designated hitter, Ian Woida. Batting sixth, the catcher, Braden Horn. Batting seventh in center field, Spencer Schmock. And batting eighth in right field, Carter Towns. And the second baseman will bat ninth, Harrison Barham, with Warner on the mound. Tanner Warner on the mound. So it'll be Tolk, Santiago, Nolan the fourth, Perry, Woida, and Horn. Schmock, Towns, and Barham behind the plate. Barham, the second baseman, will end it up with Warner on the mound. We'll take a break. We'll have our anthem, and we'll be back in about 11 minutes for the start of this one. Thanks for joining me. All right, let's play some Tuesday afternoon football. Tanner Warner is on the mound for the Blue Devils. He's from Kansas City, Missouri. He has a 6.23 ERA. He has a 1-win and 2-loss record, 8 appearances, 13 innings pitched. He will toe the slab for the Blue Devils. The defense behind him will be Nolan the fourth, Schmock and Towns left to right across the outfield. Perry, Tolk, Barham, and Santiago across the infield with Braden Horn behind the plate, as Tanner Warner will be the hurler for the Blue Devils today to start things off. One game scheduled, 9-inning game with the Metropolitan Community College Wolves Maple Woods campus over just across the state line. 152 north of here, just 4 or 5 miles, and you go straight across to Maple Woods, or MCC is what better known as. Chase Phillips will start things off. Phillips starts the day batting .265. He'll step in to face Warner. That's low and outside, ball 1, 1-0 the count. Welcome to the broadcast. Thanks for joining me. Tuesday afternoon, sunshiny day with the wind out of the south. Take a quick look at the flag. Blowing out pretty strong toward left field. One and one the count on the center fielder, Phillips. There's a hit by a pitch. That'll bring up Morris. Morris, the right fielder. Morris starts the day batting .322. He'll step in with a runner down at first base after they hit by a pitch. High and inside, ball 1, 1-0 the count. I don't know if it's by design that Warner's hit one and then over the top of that one there to get the hitters a little uneasy at the plate, but it might have that effect. Here comes the 1-0. Actually got him picked off. So he's going to be safe at second, diving past. I mentioned in the broadcast the other day, I don't like 7 or 6 throws. I'm going to get the ball ahead of him and run him back to the base, and he is either going to be out or safe to the back base, and that's always going to be it. And that's my coaching philosophy on that, like it or not. Many do, many don't. Nonetheless, safe at second base is Phillips. 2-0 the count now on Morris. There's a strike outside corner at the waist. 2-1 the count. Early going here, second hitter of the game. Sunshiny day here on the campus of the Kansas City, Kansas Community College Blue Devils. Here comes the 2-1 from Warner. Runner goes. And that's going to be a stolen base. Horn decided to hang on to that instead of throw. It was high and inside, so it kind of took him into the hitter Morris. So now a runner at third with nobody out. There's a ball headed for the woods. So 3-2 the count now. The 3-2. That's up high for ball 4. So runners at the corner, and that's going to bring up Cole. Going to get a quick visit to the mound and get things straightened out. Got a hit by pitch and a base on balls. Not the greatest way to start the day, but worse things in life. We'll take a break. We'll be back. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for joining me today. Be sure and like, subscribe, and ring the notification bell so you'll be notified every time we make an upload or go live. Thanks again. All right, the words of wisdom have been imparted by Coach Golbeck. Stepping back in is Broxton Cole, the shortstop. That pitch is outside for ball 1. Cole starts the day batting .348. He has the highest batting average of the Wolves of Metropolitan. Little toss over to first. Back in safely is Morris. Runner goes and hit by pitch. So a hit by pitch, a base on balls, a stolen base, and a hit by pitch. And just like that, the bases are loaded with nobody out. Horn is out to give the bunt defense. Likely not going to see the bunt from the number 4 hitter, Cale Conway. Conway starts the day batting .200 and going to be safe at home. Horn tried to race the runner. Phillips back to the plate. So the wild pitch yields a run, and with nobody out, 1 run so far for the Wolves of Metropolitan. There's a strike, catches the outside corner at the knees. Runners at second and third. Two and 1 the count. Breaking ball that's headed for the woods or the soccer field. 1 stays inside the soccer fence. So 2 and 2 the count. Runners at second and third. First baseman Cale Conway at the plate for the Wolves. That's outside. So 3 and 2 the count. Stretch and the 3-2. There's a foul ball headed down the right field line. Gonna bounce off the side of the bullpen area. We'll do the 3-2 again. 9-inning scheduled game. That's down low for ball 4. going to bring up Sosa Quintana. He'll be up there with the bases loaded and nobody out. He starts the day batting .276. It's a breaking ball hit it into right center, and that was taken by. We'll see if they're going to step on second base here. I thought he left a little bit early. Absolutely. So the sac fly by Sosa Quintana. So that's going to bring up the designated hitter, Schmidt. Schmidt will step in with one out and runners at the corners. Schmidt starts the day batting .271. Squares to bunt, and ball's going to be a wild pitch, and Conway will move down to second base, so now runners at second and third. That's down low. 2-0 the count. Two balls, no strikes. Runners at second and third. 2 runs in for the Wolves. That's way outside, so 3-0 the count. See how quick of a hook Coach Goldback may have today with Warner. 4 straight free passes, then a sac fly. That ball's down low for a base on balls. That's going to bring up Mejia. Going to get a visit to the mound. Going to be a pitching change. We'll get that information and be back. Blue Devils have given up 2 runs here quickly in the game. We'll be back. Thanks for joining me today. Be sure and like, subscribe, and ring the notification bell so you'll be notified every time we make an upload or go live. Thanks again. Pitching change has been made. Sebastian Udlin comes in. First pitch, check swing, rule the ball. Bases loaded. Udlin is from Blue Springs, Missouri has a 2.45 ERA. That's inside. Side Armor, 2 appearances. Pitched 3 2/3 innings. No record on the season. There's a strike right through there. Need a one hopper right at somebody to get us out of this mess. 3-1 the count now. Bases full of Wolves. Udlin called on in relief here early in this one. There's a foul tip into the glove of the catcher. So 3-2 the count. Double play ball or a strikeout right here would be good. There's a foul ball back to the screen, so Udlin earns another pitch with that foul ball. 2 runs in thus far for the Wolves. Udlin trying to get the Blue Devils into the dugout. There's a foul tip into the glove for the strikeout of Mejia. That'll bring up the catcher, Kraft. There's a strike called. Kraft starts the day batting .281. 0-1 the count on him. There's a breaking ball, swing and a miss. So 0-2 the count on the catcher, Zach Kraft. Comes the 0-2 pitch. And a swing and a miss. Got him chasing. So Udlin comes in and gets a couple of strikeouts. The Wolves get 2 runs on no hits. 3 left on as we go to the bottom of the first. The Wolves have 2. Your Blue Devils coming up. I'll be back. All right, to the bottom half of the first inning we go. Trenton Mitchell on the mound for the Wolves. He has an 8.34 ERA, no record on the season. He's had 10 appearances, pitched 22 2/3 of an inning. Defense behind him is Belton, Phillips, Morris across the outfield, left to right. Sosa, Quintana, Cole, Mejia, and Conway left to right across the infield with Kraft behind the plate. Tolk will lead things off here for the Blue Devils. There's a strike, catches the inside corner. Tolk starts the day batting .310. There's a strike right through there. So Mitchell comes in throwing strikes, 0-2 the count on the leadoff hitter, Talk. Just inside a bunch, but just about hit him. Thought it was going to get him. Here comes the 1-2. There's a ground ball headed at the shortstop. Cole up with it and over to Conway for the 6-3 ground out. That's going to bring up Santiago. Santiago starts the day batting .351. He'll step in here with 1 out. That's up just a bit. 1-0 the count. Infield playing Santiago to pull. There's a ball headed for the woods over behind the dugout, and the wind blowing so hard that it brings it back in and makes me actually choose the wrong camera there. Came back in, and Conway not able to chase that down, but that was headed for over into the woods, but the strength of the wind out of the south brought it back into the playing field. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out here in the bottom of the first inning. Outside, 2-1 the count. Pulled that one over by the dugout. Sosa Quintana, the third baseman, actually over where the shortstop would be. And you can see just the shortstop Cole playing up the middle. Three and two the count now on Santiago, and that's inside for ball 4. So a ground out and a base on balls. That's going to bring up Nolan the 4th. Nolan the 4th starts the day batting .320. He'll step in with a runner at first base. Santiago. That's down low for ball 1. So Santiago is at first base. Remember, Thursday's game has been moved to tomorrow here at KCK due to the impending weather in the rest of the week. Seems to be a break in Saturday, so hopefully Saturday will still be the 2 games played at Highland. Comes the 1-1. There's a breaking ball, makes it back down to the strike zone. So 1-2 the count on Nolan the 4th. That stays up high. 2-2 the count. Two balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, 1 on. Blue Devils trail by 2. There's a ball headed right back up the middle. Santiago will stop at second. So Nolan the 4th with the base hit right back up the box. That's going to bring up Cade Perry. Perry, the third baseman. Perry starts the day batting .292. He'll step in with 1 out and runners at first and second. There's a strike, catches the inside corner. 0-1 the count on the third baseman, Perry. Breaking ball breaks outside. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out here in the bottom of the first. Comes the pitch from Mitchell. That's a strike on the outside corner at the knees. So 1-2 the count now on Perry. So Nolan the fourth was able to take a 2-strike and take the right approach to just put contact and hit it back up the middle. See if Perry can do the same. And a swing and a miss for the second out of the inning. That's going to bring up Woida. Woida starts the day batting .376. He will step in. He had a grand slam the last home game we had here. 2 outs, 2 on. 2 runs down. There's a strike right through there. The stretch and the 0-1 from Mitchell. Stays inside. 1-1 the count on the designated hitter, Ian Woida. Ball's out of play over toward the first base side. So 1-2 the count now on Woida. Tying inside. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 on. Blue Devils trail by 2. Comes the pitch and misses low and/or outside. Pretty good looking pitch right there. Catcher kind of looked back asking the umpire, show that one was down. I can buy that more than the out, but nonetheless, outside I say. Here comes the 3-2 from Mitchell. Runners go and a check swing and rule safe, so a base on balls to Woida. The runners were off. That's going to bring up Horn. Horn starts today batting .349. He'll step in with the bases loaded and 2 outs. Swing and a miss of that pitch. Santiago at third. Nolan the fourth at second. Woida at first. That ball's down low. 1-1 the count on the catcher, Braden Horn. Foul ball there. 1-2 the count. There's a ball headed to deep left. That's going to be out. Out of here. Horn drives that one out to left field for the grand slam. So that's going to make it 4-2 as Braden Horn hits the home run and pulls it. I would wonder about the what the thoughts are up here in the press box. I think that one's out regardless of the blowing of the wind. Probably going to be out. So the grand slam to left field by Horn, and that's going to bring up Smock. Smock takes strike 1. Smock starts the day batting .267. That ball misses a little bit low. 1-1 the count. In tight on the grass is Sosa Quintana. Swing and a miss of that pitch. Inside. Probably been a ball, but he sure liked it. Come up empty. 1-2 the count. There's a ground ball headed at the shortstop. Cole up with it and over to Conway. So the Blue Devils get 4 runs on 2 hits. Nobody left on. We go to the top of the second inning. Blue Devils leading 4-2. All right, to the top of the second inning we go. Belton, Phillips, and Morris scheduled up for the Wolves. Belton, the number 9 hitter. First pitch to him is outside. Belton starts the day batting .250. He's up there as he leads off the second inning. That ball's outside. So 2-0 the count. Udlin on in relief of Warner. The left fielder, Carter Belton, at the plate. Pitch is outside. So 3-0 the count. Number 9 hitter, throw it down the middle here, make him hit his way on. That's ball 4. So back to the top of the order, and Chase Phillips, the center fielder. So have we had a pinch hitter here or a substitution? Shows up as number 30, is now in the leadoff spot. So Luke Meredith at the plate for the Wolves. So not sure if there was an injury to Phillips.
He started the game. Number 30 did. He didn't start.
So my lineup card that I had was wrong. So it was.
Must have been a last-second change because that's who they sent up here. Unless he's wearing number 30. I don't know.
There's a ball out into shallow left field. Everybody on the chase, and Tolk runs it down clear out by the fence. So that'll bring up Morris. So Luke Meredith must have been a late scratch that I missed somehow. So did you catch that when you announced the first hitter?
I announced it for him, then I saw his number after.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right, so Colin Morris will be up, and the runner moves down to second base, does Belton. Meredith makes out. There's a strike right through there. See if we can get line back out and what's going on here. Colin Morris is from Kansas City, Missouri. Pitch from Utland and a swing and a miss, so 0-2 on Colin Morris, the right fielder. He walked his first time up. And a swing and a miss, so the sidearm curveball looking like it's going to get the outside corner and then goes outside and out of the reach of the hitters.
Shortstop number 2, Broxton Cole.
It's going to bring up Broxton Cole. Cole is from Lawson, Missouri. Is that foul ball back to the screen? 0-1 the count. Runner at second base is Belton. He reached on a base on balls. There's a ball, stays inside. 1-1 the count. One ball, one strike. The stretch and the pitch by Udland. Breaking ball is going to get back to the inside corner there. Udland moves as far as possible on the pitching rubber toward third base. Just makes that breaking ball that much more. It's like the way a left-hander comes across there for left-handers. 1-2 the count. That stays way up. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs in the second inning, and the Blue Devils lead by 2. The ball headed at Barham. Barham up and over for the 4-3 ground out. No runs, no hits. 1 left on as we go to the bottom of the second inning. Blue Devils leading 4-2. Stay with us. We got a good one. Thanks for joining me today. Be sure and like, subscribe, and ring the notification bell so you'll be notified every time we make an upload or go live. Thanks again. All right, to the bottom half of the second inning we go. Carter Towns, the right fielder, will step in. Towns starts the day batting .207. He'll step in to face Mitchell. Swing and a miss of that fastball inside part of the plate. Okay, we also have a pitcher on the mound that is number 25 instead of Mitchell that I originally had. So I'll get some numbers there. There's a foul ball. So some information that got by us. Bronco Witt. There's a strike three called on Towns. So that's going to bring up Barham. Witt is from Gower, Missouri. There's a strike called. Barham starts the day batting .333. That's high and outside. And that's outside. Quickly working is Meredith. Or excuse me, Witt. Foul ball headed back and out of play. Witt has an 8.33 ERA. 1-0 is his record. 27 innings pitched with 15 appearances. It's going to be fouling out of play. Two and two the count. There's a foul ball. Guys, how did Towns make out? I was strikeout, swinging, looking. So Towns with the punch out. I got sidetracked by looking up the new pitcher there and wasn't sure of the strikeout. Thanks, guys. So 3 and 2 the count now on Barham, the second baseman. And that's up high for ball 4. So a punch out and a base on balls, and we're back to the top of the order. And that's going to bring up Talk. Sawyer Talk is from Sioux Falls, South Dakota. He'll be up there with 1 out and a runner at first base. Swing and a miss of the first pitch. So the second baseman, the number 9 hitter down at first base after the 1 out walk. Owen won the count on Talk. He grounded out to Cole at short his first time up. High fly ball into center field. Coming in to take care of that is Meredith for the second out of the inning. So that'll bring up Santiago. Santiago is from Calle, Puerto Rico. He reached on a base on balls his first time up. Pickoff attempt by Witt, and down to second base goes Barnum. Two outs now with Santiago at the plate. Runner in scoring position now for Santiago. Foul ball back and over the third base dugout area. 0-1 the count. Barnum at second base. 2 outs. Bottom of the second inning. just out in front of that a bit. Ball rolls out into the outfield off the fencing of the bullpen. 0-2 the count on Santiago. Way outside. So Santiago moves in really tight on the plate. Seems like maybe he backed off a little, but nonetheless, taking away as much of that inside as he can. 1-2 the count. Fouls that one back to the screen. So Santiago earns another pitch. One and two the count on the first baseman. Fouls another one back to the screen. Sixth pitch of the at-bat coming. 1-2 the count. A couple of 1-2 pitches spoiled by Santiago. Right, pretty much she's right on it, straight back to the screen. There's a ball headed into the bullpen. So 3 1-2 pitches have been spoiled by Santiago. Way outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. 2-run lead here in the bottom of the second inning for the Blue Devils. Sunshiny day on the campus of the Kansas City, Kansas Community College Blue Devils. Thanks for joining me today. I appreciate you always. Comes the 2-2 from Witt and the swing and the miss for the strikeout. So the Blue Devils get no runs on no hits. 1 left on. We go to the top of the third inning. Blue Devils leading 4-2. All right, to the top of the third we go. Scheduled 9-inning game. Conway, Sosa Quintana, and Schmidt scheduled up for the Wolves. Udlin back for another inning of work. Conway reached on a base on balls his last time up. There's a breaking ball. That one's going to be popped up over here. And that's going to be taken by Santiago. That's going to bring up Sosa Quintana. He is from Camargo, Chihuahua, Mexico. Squares to bunt, takes a strike, breaking ball, catches the inside corner. He had a sac fly to deep center field his first time up. Swing and a miss of that breaking ball. Breaking ball looks like it's going to be on the outside corner, then it goes way outside. Ball just a little bit low on the inside, 1-2 the count. So ball headed into right center and not able to get there is Smock. So ending up at second base is Sosa Quintana. It's going to bring up Schmidt, the designated hitter. Schmidt reached on a base on balls his last time up. Attempted a bunt right there, comes up empty. 0-1 the count. On the designated hitter, Carson Schmidt. Ball's outside. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, 1 on. There's one of those breaking balls. Look good. Swings through it, but it breaks outside. So 1-2 the count on Schmidt. And a swing and a miss for the strikeout. So Udlin has pitched in 3 of the innings, and he has 2 strikeouts in 1 and a strikeout in each of the other 2 as well, and that's going to bring up Mejia. There's a base hit, hit it into the left field, and actually taken by the shortstop Tolk. Just enough hang time on it to get to it onto the backside. So no runs on 1 hits do the Wolves get, and we go to the bottom of the 3rd inning. Blue Devils leading 4-2. All right, Bronco Witt back to the mound for the Wolves. Nolan the 4th, Perry, and Woida scheduled up. Nolan the 4th had a base hit right back up the middle his first time. There's a hard hit ground ball backhanded by Sosa Quintana over at 3rd and over to Conway for the 5-3 ground out. Nolan the 4th is from Fort Worth, Texas. That's going to bring up Perry. Perry is from Omaha, Nebraska. He takes a strike called on 1 the count. Bottom of the third inning action, Blue Devils leading 4-2. Perry struck out his first time out. Blue Devils 4 runs come on a grand slam by Braden Horn. There's a strike, catches the outside corner. 1-2 the count. That's up high. 2-2 the count. Two balls, two strikes, and an out. Foul ball headed for the woods. So Perry stays alive. Stays alive again. This time he pulls it over to the dugout of the Blue Devils to stay alive. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 foul balls with 2 strikes. So 7th pitch of the at-bat coming here. And a swing and a miss, that enticing outside corner. So back-to-back strikeouts for Perry. That's going to bring up Woida. Woida is from Lincoln, Nebraska. He reached on a base on balls his first time up. Swing and a miss of that pitch right there. Another swing and a miss. So quickly 0-2 on the designated hitter, Ian Woida. That's outside. 1-2 the count. There's a strike 3 called, catches the outside corner. So a ground out and a couple of strikeouts. No runs, no hits, no errors. Nobody left on. We go to the top of the 4th inning. Blue Devils leading 4-2. All right. Kraft, Belton, and then back to the top of the order, and Meredith. There's a strike called. Kraft struck out his first time up. Swing and a miss of that pitch on the inside part of the plate. 0-2. Sebastian Udlin from Blue Springs, Missouri, on the mound in relief of Warner. Ball stays inside. Glad to see that pitch didn't hit him. Hate those 0-2 pitches and you hit somebody. 1-2 that count. Ball misses low and outside. Nice job by Santiago. I thought he lost it right at the last minute, but was close enough to get it to the glove. So Kraft fouls out to Santiago at first base. That's going to bring up Belton. Belton is from Olathe, Kansas. There's a foul ball out in front of that. He reached on a base on balls his first time. I apologize for not having the origins of some of these players. Some of them aren't in the roster on their website, so sorry about that. Out in front of that and cues it off the end of the bat. Quickly 0-2 the count. On the left fielder, Carter Belton. Swing and a miss of that pitch. So a pop out and a strikeout, and we're back to the top of the order, and Meredith. Meredith steps in with 2 outs and nobody on. It's a high fly ball down the left field line, and that's going to be out of play and out of the park, but foul. Meredith was hit by a pitch in the first and popped out to Santiago right in the running lane to first base. That misses outside. 0-1 the count on Luke Meredith, the center fielder. Breaks outside, not enticed by that. Was Meredith. So 2-1 the count. Ball headed out of play over the first base dugout. Nolan the fourth, Smock and Towns left to right across the outfield. Perry, Tolk, Barman, Santiago left to right across the infield with Braden Horn behind the plate and Udland on the mound. It's outside, so 3-2 the count. There's a ball headed up the middle. And the nice diving play by Spencer Smock. You saw the sand fly. There's been a lot of sand added to the outfield out there as the grass is looking nice in the outfield. So a nice play for a 3-up, 3-down inning for the Blue Devils. We go to the bottom of the 4th inning. Blue Devils leading 4-2. I'll be back. Stay with us. We got a good one. Thanks for being here. Horn, Schmuck, and Towns scheduled up for the Blue Devils. Horn is from Derby, Kansas. Fouls that first pitch back. Bronco Witt back to the mound for another inning of work for the Wolves. It's a swing and a miss of that pitch. Witt is from Gower, Missouri. That just misses. 1-2 the count. Braden Horn, the catcher, he had a grand slam home run out to left field. Pretty much right over the 375 sign. That's outside and all the way back to the screen. 2-2 on Horn as he leads off. The bottom of the fourth. Swing and a miss for the strikeout. That's going to bring up Smock. Smock will step in with one out. Smock is from Aurora, Colorado. In tight at third is Sosa Quintana. Ball one to Smock. He grounded out to Cole at short his first time up. Check swing there, ruled a ball. 2-0 the count. Foul ball down the right field line. That's going to just get into the bullpen area. Two and one the count. There's a hit by a pitch. So Smock will head down to first base here with one out in the bottom of the fourth inning. Blue Devils leading 4-2. That's going to bring up Towns. Towns is from Kansas City, Missouri. There's a strike called outside corner at the knees. Way inside. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, 1 on. Each team with 1 error. That's down low, 2-1 the count. In the dirt. Nice little pick of the ball there by Kraft, the catcher. 3-1 the count. Foul ball back to the screen by Towns. Carter Towns, the right fielder, he was called out on strikes his first time up. Ball's down low for ball 4. So a strikeout, a hit by pitch, and a base on balls. The Blue Devils have a runner in scoring position, 2 on with 1 out. That's going to bring up Barham. Barham is from Kansas City, Missouri. He reached on a base on balls his last time up. That ball's outside. Smock at second base. Towns at first. Ball headed foul down. Even outside the bullpen down there. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Two and 1 the count. Nobody working in the bullpen of the Metropolitan Wolves. Got a little work going on down in the Blue Devils bullpen, but it looks like just loosening up. No throwing yet. Two and 1 the count. That ball will be taken by the right fielder, Morris, but the runner moves over to third base. Does Schmuck. So back to the top of the order and Tolk. Tolk will step in with 2 outs. Runners at the corners for the Blue Devils. Kraft, the catcher for the Wolves, out to give some signals or signs, however you want to call it, to let his infield know what they're going to do with the first and third on the steal attempt. Runner bluffs. Ball is taken high and inside. Talk grounded out to Cole at short his first time out. Flew out into shallow center field his second time up. Got him picked off. We'll see for an opportunity. And the run is going to score before the out is there. So the Blue Devils, kind of a custom thing that they like to do is with 2 outs, send that runner, getting the run down, get the run scored. So the Blue Devils go up 5-2. They score 1 run on no hits. We go to the top of the 5th inning. Blue Devils leading 5-2. Pitching change has been made by the Blue Devils. Carter Beach comes in. He is from Overland Park, Kansas. Morris, Cole, and Conway scheduled up. That takes down low for ball one. There's a strike called. Beach has 10 appearances, 16 innings. He's got 14 strikeouts, 8 walks. That's on 10 appearances. There's a swing and a miss. So 1-2 the count on Colin Morris. He's reached on a base on balls in the first, struck out in the second. He's up there leading things off in the top of the fifth for the Wolves. There's a ball headed down the right field line, and that's going to be down at the edge of the bullpen area. Sliding attempt over there by Carter Towns, but not able to get there, so we'll do the 1-2 again. Beach on in relief of Udland. Udland went 4 2/3 innings. Gave up no runs and no hits. That ball's down low, so 2-2 the count. Comes the 2-2. There's a base hit into left field past the diving Talk. So Morris with the base hit. It's going to bring up Broxton Cole. He was hit by a pitch in the first, grounded out to Barham at second in the second. Runner now at first base. Out in front of that, high chopper over into the dugout of the Blue Devils. Owen won the count. The shortstop, Broxton Cole. In the dirt, blocked by Brady Horn. It kind of popped over toward the third base side, but not enough that Morris was willing to take off at second. 1-1 the count, nobody out, top of the fifth inning action. There's a base hit, Perry up with it. Gonna shoot it over and the out. What a nice play. Perry dives, catches the ball that goes over the base, throws a one-hopper over to Santiago, who digs it out for the 5-3 ground out. Nice play by Perry and Santiago. That's going to bring up Conway. Conway reached on a base on balls and then fouled out to Santiago. His second time up. That was leading off the third. He takes a strike. So a runner moves down to second on that play by Perry. There's a strike called. So quickly 0-2 the count on the first baseman, Cale Conway. Swing and a miss, and throws it down to Santiago for the finalizing of that strikeout. It's going to bring up Sosa Quintana. He had a sac fly in the first, reached on an error in the third. So 0 for 1 on the day for him. That ball's in the dirt, nicely blocked by Horn. 1-0 the count. Jesus Sosa Quintana, third baseman for the Wolves. Foul ball, that's headed over to the soccer field. 1-1 the count now. Comes the 1-1, that's fouled back. So 1-2 the count now. One out away from being halfway through this one. Blue Devils leading 5-2. That's high and inside. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Premium on the hits today. 5-2's the score, but 1 hit for the Wolves and only 2 hits by the Blue Devils. That's up high. So 3-2 the count, each team with an error. So 3-2 the count now. Fouls that back to the screen, does Sosa Quintana, so he earns another pitch. We'll do the 3-2 again. Flag is rather active right now. Headed out toward left field. There's a base hit headed into left. Gonna just take the throw over to second base. So Sosa Quintana with the base hit. So he's responsible for 2 of the runs. Two of the 3 runs. That's going to bring up Carson Smith, the designated hitter. He reached in a base on balls in the first and struck out. Got him picked off and going to be out at second base. Should have stayed with my other camera. Apologize for that. So we will go. We're halfway through this when we go to the bottom half of the 5th inning. Blue Devils leading 5-3. Stay with us. Thanks for being here. Little reminder here, we have a group of parents that have paid for those away games that I go do that otherwise do not have a broadcast. If anyone would like to make a donation, you go to 4ts.com and there's a couple different ways you can donate. Any donations go directly to the live stream broadcast done by 4Ts. I'll be back. All right. Tolk will step in for the Blue Devils. That misses high and outside. 1-0 the count. Bronco Witt back for another inning of work. There's a strike called 1-1 the count. Fouls that one back. 2-2 the count now. Pretty good looking pitch right there. Kraft was ready to take that one around the corn. That's twice that they've missed, and Kraft has turned around to ask the umpire something. Just typically something you don't do. You ask him, but you stay facing forward when you do it. So Tolk with the soft line drive to Cole at shortstop. That's going to bring up Santiago. Santiago reached on a base on balls in the first, struck out in the second. Chasing that one, and high hopper past Coach Sharp down at first base. That's up high. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Swing and a miss. So 1-2 the count now. Ball headed to deep left field. And banging into the wall is Belton, and Santiago with the opposite field home run. Santiago touches home after he just slaps that. At the 375 mark in right and left, the angle comes in to shorten to get the home run down each of the lines, and he was just into part of that, but still pretty deep, wasn't in the very corner. That brings up Nolan the fourth. Nolan the fourth hits one right straight up the middle, and that falls in front of Meredith for a 1-out base hit into center field. So Nolan the fourth has a couple of base hits, one of them on the ground back up the middle, and one of them just falls in front of the center fielder, Meredith. Both of those up the middle, he grounded out in between those two hits. There's a ball headed into left field. Off and running was Nolan the fourth. I think the hit and run was on there, and Cade Perry hits a base hit right back up the middle. Going to get a visit to the mound. Looks like we're going to have a change, so the Blue Devils go up 6-3, get a home run and then back-to-back hits, and they've pushed in 2 runs thus far in this inning. We'll get the pitching change. We'll be back. Blue Devils leading 6-3. Pitching change has been made by the Wolves. Trey Payne comes in. He has a 7.30 ERA, has no record at this time. He has 10 appearances and pitched 12 and a third innings. He will take over with the Blue Devils leading his Wolves 6-3 here in the bottom of the fifth. So the Blue Devils trying to tack on some more here with runners at the corners and one out. Woida steps in. He reached on a base on balls and was called out on a strike. Toss over to first base. Back in safely over there is Perry. Runner at third is Nolan the fourth. There's a strike, catches the outside corner. Bluff to run there was Perry. So a home run and a couple of base hits, and the Blue Devils have put in 2 more runs this inning. Excuse me, 1 run this inning. There's a foul ball headed over to the soccer practice facility. Oh, 0-2 the count now on Woida. Steps off, does Payne. That's outside. 1-2 the count now on the designated hitter, Woida. Runner goes. Woida fouls that one back and out of play. One and two the count. Toss over to first. That ball's going to just get away from Conway down there, and Nolan the fourth scores. So the second run in the inning makes it 7-3. Runner goes. The ball is outside and in the dirt. Stolen base by Perry. He was off with the pitch, so the fact that it was a backhand in the dirt, no bearing except a hard ball to make the throw from. That's going to go full 3-2 the count. Only Santiago has more home runs than Woida. Santiago with 8 and Woida with 7. There's a base on balls. So a base on balls, a punch out, and a base on balls. Going to get a pitcher, pitching coach is going to hustle out to the mound. Believe that to be their head coach as well. So runners now at first and second. 1 out. And Braden Horn coming to the plate. He's the catcher. He had a grand slam in the first and a strikeout in the fourth. So he will step in with the Blue Devils leading 7-3. Little work going on down in the bullpen for the Wolves. Blue Devils not having anyone throw yet, just staying loose down there, some of the pitchers. So Horn will step in. This will be his third at-bat of the day. He's 1 for 2 with the grand slam so far. Pitch from Payne, that's low. Want to know the count? There's a strike inside corner at the waist. Belton, Meredith, Morris left to right across the outfield. Sosa, Quintana, Cole, Mejia, and Conway across the infield with Kraft behind the plate and Payne now on the mound. That's nicely blocked by the catcher, Kraft, right there. Breaking ball outside the plate to the left-handed batter's box side. Nice block by the catcher, Kraft. 2-1 the count now. 1 out, runners at first and second. Breaking ball in the identical spot. Horn still not chasing. And that must be low. Pretty good looking pitch right there, ball 4. So 1 for 2 with a grand slam, a strikeout, and a walk for Horn. It's going to bring up Smock. Smock grounded out to Cole at shortstop his first time up, and then in the 4th, he was hit by a pitch. We're going to get a pitching change. Blue Devils have the bases loaded with 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Stay with us. We'll be back. Pitching change has been made by the Wolves. Ethan Veach from Platte City went to Platte County High School. He has a 10.98 ERA, 2 wins and 2 losses. He's had 13 appearances, pitched 19 and 2/3 innings. For the Wolves, he comes on. He inherits 1 out and the bases loaded with Spencer Schmock at the plate. Breaking ball way up and behind Smock. Smock's grounded out and been hit by a pitch. Out at home. So the catcher, Kraft, gets it to Veach. And out at the plate is Perry for the second out of the inning. The ball bounced straight back to Kraft, made it as easy play is what gave it time. There's a breaking ball right through there for a strike. 2-1 the count. Swing and a miss of that fastball. Two balls, two strikes, two outs, two on. That misses outside. 3-2 the count now. Swing and a miss for the strikeout. So the Blue Devils get 2 runs on 1, 2, 3 hits. We go to the top of the 6th inning. Blue Devils leading 7-3. Thanks for being with us today. Schmidt, Mejia, and Kraft scheduled up for the Wolves. That ball stays up and in on the designated hitter, Carson Schmidt. He reached on a base on balls in the first. Struck out in the third. There's a swing and a miss, so 1-1 the count. Pretty good looking pitch right there. Was low though, ruled. 2-1 the count. High and outside. So 3-1 the count on Carson Schmidt. Swing and a miss of that pitch, so 3-2 the count. Schmidt leading off the top of the 6th inning. 1 game today, so a 9-inning scheduled game. That's down low for ball 4. So 0 for 1 is Schmidt with a couple of walks and a strikeout. That's going to bring up Mejia. Mejia struck out and then hit a soft line drive to Tolk at short in the third. 1-0 the count. Toss over to first from Beach to Santiago, but back in safely was Schmidt. Foul ball back to the screen. Runner at first, 1-1 the count. As I high pop up, believe that one's going to get out of here, and does. One ball, two strikes. Two and two the count now. Seth Mejia, the second baseman, at the plate. Schmidt at first, leadoff walk. In the dirt inside. So 3-2 the count now. Going to be safe at first. That's going to be an infield hit for Mejia. It's going to bring up the Kraft. Kraft struck out in the first, popped out in foul territory to Santiago in the fourth. He's up there with nobody out and runners at first and second. Perry in tight on the grass, squares to bunt, and he's going to be safe at third. So squares to bunt, and as Horn throws it down to Perry, Schmidt is able to slide to the outfield side. Not sure, I believe that first pitch was a ball, but neither of our scoreboards have it. Yep, 1-0 the count. I didn't see the umpire's signal right away. That's down low, so 2-0 the count. Runner at third base is Schmidt. Mejia at first. Kraft at the plate. Outside. So 3-0 the count now on the catcher, Zach Kraft. And ball 4. So a walk, an infield hit, and a walk, and the bases are full of Wolves. It's going to bring up Carter Belton. Got a pinch hitter here. We're going to get a visit to the mound. We'll get some information. We'll be back to you. The Blue Devils leading 7-3 here in the top of the 6th, but the bases are loaded for the Wolves. We're going to get a pitching change and a pinch hitter here. The Wolves are threatening. We'll be back. Pitching change has been made by the Blue Devils. Weston Freeze from Salina, Kansas. He'll inherit the bases loaded and nobody out. Freeze has an 11.15 ERA, 0-1 on the year, 10 appearances, 15 and a third innings pitch, 15 strikeouts versus 9 walks. He will take over from Carter Beach, Sebastian Edlin, and Tanner Warner in reverse order. Blue Devils leading here 7-3, but the tying run at the plate and the pinch hitter, Peyton Mitchell. Mitchell is from Blue Springs, Missouri. Mitchell starts the day batting .286, and he will step in with the bases loaded and nobody out. Coach Leon coming in to help do a little bit of work on the pitch-com system, the communications between the pitcher, the catcher, and the coaches. Pitch-com and new things that kind of, when they're working, they work well, and they help cut down on time and helps the communication. So Freeze, first pitch is coming here to Mitchell. There's a strike called outside half of the plate at the knees. 0-1 the count. Bases full of Wolves. Nobody out. Top of the 6th inning. Breaking ball fades outside. So 1-1 the count. Comes the 1-1 from Freeze. Swing and a miss of that pitch. 1-2 is the count. Comes the 1-2. That's outside and in the dirt, nicely blocked by Horn. So 2-2 now the count. Peyton Mitchell. Pinch hitting for Carter Belton. In the dirt and nicely blocked again by Horn. So 3-2 the count. Foul ball down by the coach. I believe that's Coach Meade down there. We'll assign him with an error. Comes the 3-2 again. There's a ball headed into left field. That will score 2 runs. And into second base with Mitchell. And he gets the double into right field with 2 RBI to make it 7-5. So back to the top of the order and Luke Meredith. Meredith is 0 for 2 on the day. He was hit by a pitch to lead this thing off and then had a base hit taken away from him on a diving play coming straight in by Smock in center field. There's a one-hopper going to bring the play to home and back to third. So the fielder's choice goes 5-2 for the first out of the inning. That's going to bring up Colin Morris. So runners now at the corners with 1 out. So a one-hop hard hit ground ball to Meredith, and the contact play was on. The runner from third was headed on contact. Toss over to first by Freeze. Not much going on over there. Morris has walked, struck out, and had a base hit. Squares to bunt. The bunt is down. And will end up being a base hit. You might say had a chance to possibly go to third, and then Santiago chooses not to go, so the base hit. Actually, that was a nice firm bunt by Morris down the first baseline. So 1 out, the bases are loaded. That brings up Broxton Cole. He's been hit by a pitch, grounded out to Barham and to Barham and Perry. So 0-1 the count. On the shortstop, Broxton Cole, bases loaded, 1 out. Breaking ball fouled into the net. Two runs in the inning, but the base is still loaded, just 1 out. Freeze would like to get a strikeout or a double play ball right at somebody here. That's outside. 1-2 the count. Freeze on in relief of Beach, Udland, and Warner. In the dirt, nicely blocked by Horn. In the dirt. Two and two the count now. Bases full of Wolves. strike three called. Pitch right at the waist, or maybe a couple of hairs above, but nonetheless a punch out for the second out of the inning. Believe another pinch hitter for Jackson Bell, number 0.
Pinch hitter number 0, Jackson Bell.
Bell pinch hitting. Nicely blocked by Horn. Bell starts the day batting .320. Pinch hitting here in the top of the 6th. 2 outs now. Foul ball in foul territory, which most foul balls are. But Santiago out to just take care of that in about 3 foot foul of territory. And 2 runs on 2 hits. Actually, 2 runs on 3 hits. And we go to the bottom half of the 6th inning. Blue Devils leading 7-5. All right, 2. The bottom half of the 6th inning we go. Blue Devils leading 7-5 over the Metropolitan Wolves. Scheduled up for the Blue Devils, Towns, Barham, and Tolk. Towns will step in. Towns was called out on strikes in the 2nd inning, walked in the 4th, and scored a run on a wild pitch, I believe. That's inside. 1-0 the count. Veach back for another inning of work. Ball just a little bit wide of first base down there. That's up just a bit. Swing and a miss by Towns. Another ball just a little bit wide of first base. I believe that to be Jackson Bell down at first base now after his pinch hit appearance. There's airmail all the way back to the screen. just a little bit foul, but over to grab that was Bell, and the foul ball called, so Towns will come back and do it again. Towns playing in right field today for the Blue Devils. That's up high for ball 4. So a lead-off walk. That's going to bring up Barham. Barham will step in with nobody out and a runner at first base. There's a strike called.
Baseman number 11, Harrison Barham.
0-1 the count on Barham. Towns at first. That ball's a little bit low. Towns has one stolen base. That's up high. 2-1 the count. Toss over to first base. Nothing going on over there. Towns back in safely. There's a wild pitch all the way back to the screen and headed over to second base is Towns. Three and one the count. Barham at the plate. He's the number 9 hitter. So back to the top of the order with Tolk. If Barham can put one, there's a little check swing that just barely makes it over the top of the first base dugout. So 3 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out. Towns at second base. Comes the pitch from Veach. There's a base hit past the diving Sosa Quintana. Coach was holding him up at third, and the left fielder bobbled the ball a bit. Probably would have been fine, but better safe than sorry with nobody out. And back to the top of the order. So that's going to bring up Tolk. Tolk will step in with runners at the corners. Kraft out to give some signals on how they're going to handle the stolen base or the bunt defense. Toss over to first. Nothing going on over there. That's Barham over there. Squares to bunt, and that's going to be foul. Tolk has grounded out. Flew out to center and hit a soft line drive to Cole at short. 0-1 the count. On the shortstop, Sawyer Tolk. Squares to Gabon again, pulls back and takes a ball. 1-1 the count. Squares to bunt, and it's going to be foul again. So 1-2 the count now. We'll see if Coach Goldbeck keeps the bunt on or not with 2 strikes. Our last game here at home, the opposing team had a strikeout on a fouled out 3rd strike. Most coaches get away from that. Toss from Veach over to Bell. Back in safe is Barham. Way up over the top of the head of Tolk. So 2-2 the count now. There's a base hit rifled right into left field. That's going to be an RBI base hit for Tolk. That's going to make it 8-5. Going to get a visit to the mound. Looks like a pitching change. So the Blue Devils have plated 1 here. They still have runners on with still nobody out. We'll get the pitching change. We'll be back. Pitching change has been made by the Wolves. Number 21, Joel Palachek. He's from Grain Valley, Missouri. Tall righty comes to the mound. He will take over with no outs and a couple of runners on. His numbers, if I can get them found here they are. 10.64 ERA, 13 appearances, 11 innings pitched, no record to date, and he will face Santiago. Santiago had an opposite field home run his last time up. Palachek inherits nobody out with runners at first and second, and Santiago at the plate. Going to be a play at second base, and back in safely is Barham. Barham at second, Tolk at first. There's a strike. Breaking ball catches the inside corner. 0-1 the count on the first baseman, Frankie Santiago. Swing and a miss. 0-2 the count, so Santiago will have to now protect. See if he can get something pulled to the right side and get that runner over to third. That ball's outside. 1-2 the count now. 8-5 your lead for the Blue Devils. 1-2 the count. Runners at first and second. Foul ball backing up over the top of us. One and two the count on Frankie Santiago. And the third baseman, Sosa Quintana, takes care of that. That's going to bring up Nolan the fourth. Nolan the fourth steps in with one out now and runners at first and second. Nolan the fourth is 2 for 3 with a couple of base hits and a ground out. There's a strike, catches the outside corner, 0-1 the count. On the left fielder, Freddie Nolan the fourth. Outside and in the dirt, nicely blocked by Kraft. Barham at second base. Tolk at first. Nolan the fourth at the plate. There's a ball headed into deep center field. It's going to be taken by Meredith, and Barham hustles back to second base. He was off with the pitch. That's going to bring up Perry. Perry has struck out twice and then had a base hit. He was out on a play at home on a wild pitch, but the ball bounced straight back to the catcher Kraft, and he was over to the pitcher Payne for the out. Two outs now. Way outside. Perry did have a stolen base after his base hit. That ball breaks outside. Two and 0 the count. There's a strike, catches the outside corner to Perry. There's a breaking ball, catches the outside corner for strike two. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 on. The pitch from Veach. From Palachek. Third baseman Sosa Quintana over the fence, and now back over the fence, back to field of play. So 3-2 the count, 2 outs. Comes the pitch from Palachek. That's going to be that bluff back to second. Had to come to the plate, so that is ruled a ball there for a base on balls on Perry. So that's going to bring up Wojda. Wojda's going to be up with the bases loaded and 2 outs. Wojda has reached on a base on balls twice and was called out on strikes once. That ball's a little bit outside, 1-0 the count. Bottom of the 6th inning action. 9 innings scheduled game. Blue Devils leading 8-5 currently. And that's inside. Two and 0 the count on Wojda. Sails outside. 3-0 the count. So Palachek's going to have to come with a strike here or give up an RBI for the walk. There's a fastball right down the middle, taken all the way was Wojda. Strike 2 catches the outside corner. So from 3-0 to 3-2. And a swing and a miss for Wojda. The Blue Devils get 1 run on 1 hit. We go to the top of the 7th inning. Blue Devils leading 8-5. I'll be back. All right, Sosa Quintana to the plate. Freeze back for another inning of work. That pitch is outside, 1-0 in that count. Sosa Quintana, he's had a sac fly, reached on an error, and an RBI base hit. Phew. Pretty good looking pitch right there. Ruled the ball. 2-0 the count. Swing and a miss of the high heater right there. Nolan the fourth, Schmock, and Towns across the outfield left to right. Perry, Tolk, Barham, and Santiago across the infield. Horn behind the plate. That's down low. 3-1 the count. Foul ball back and out of play. So 3-2 the count. Comes the 3-2. That's ball four. So a leadoff walk to Sosa Quintana. Going to get a visit to the mound. We'll see if there's a change. Leadoff hitter walks here. Pitching change it is. We'll get those changes in. We'll be back. Blue Devils leading 8-5 here in the top of the seventh. I'll be back. All right, the pitching change has been made by the Blue Devils. Number 25, Avery Oravets from Wildwood, Missouri, will come in for the Blue Devils. He has a 13.50 ERA. He has 10 appearances, 8 innings pitched. He will come in with nobody out and a runner at first base. All right, runner at first base, is Sosa Quintana. Schmidt has walked twice and struck out once. Strike cold. Excuse me. Ball is inside to Schmidt. 1-1 the count on him. Breaking ball at Tolk. Tolk over to Barham, but the return throw not in time for the double play. So the 6-4 fielder's choice. It's going to bring up Seth Mejia. Mejia, the second baseman, he has struck out, hit a soft line drive to Tolk at short, and had a base hit. Base hit was a slow roller to third base, and Perry not able to come up with that in time, an infield hit. 1-0 the count now. Runner at first base is Schmidt, and the runner goes and is out at second base. Nice quick hands by Barham to put that after the throw from Horn. So caught stealing from Horn to Barham. Now there's 2 outs. Mejia at the plate. 1-2 the count on him. Popped up on the right side. That's going to be taken by Barham. So a high fly ball there. So a walk, but a caught stealing faces the minimum. We go to the bottom half of the 7th inning. Blue Devils leading 8-5. Horn, Schmock, and Towns scheduled up for the Blue Devils. Braden Horn, the catcher, he had a grand slam in the first and has a walk, so 1 for 2 on the day. There's a strike called on 1 the count. Ball in on the fist. That's going to be taken care of by the left fielder. I believe that is Morris over in left field now for the Wolves. That ball sails outside. Palachek starts his wind-up a little slow and then really comes at you quick. I think there's a check swing rule, no ball, 2-0 the count. I think when he really comes at you fast, he is throwing a particular pitch Then when he doesn't, that last pitch didn't have that same where he came at you quick he did there with the fastball. So I think the fastball, he comes at you quicker than he does the curveball. May tip that off a little bit. Foul ball headed over to the soccer field, maybe right into the goal. Nope, didn't quite make it. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Ball headed down the right field line. That's going to be out of play. Little nubber with a lot of spin. We'll see how they score that with all that spin on it. What we get for it? I'm thinking a hit from my book because of all the spin that was on it. How did Horn make out, guys? What was his out?
Right fielder number 45, Carter Towns.
So Carter Towns will be up.
Horn flew out to left. Yeah. Like a soft line out.
Thank you. Towns has been called out on strikes and walked twice and comes back with a base hit to right field. Going first to third is Schmock, so the base hit by Towns. The Blue Devils have runners at the corners with 1 out. Excuse me, guys, having a little bit of trouble with a coughing spell here. I apologize for that. I'm predicting a bunt right here. We'll see 1 out, runners at the corners. He squares and pulls back and takes ball 1. 1-0 the count. Runner goes a wicked line drive right at Sosa Quintana, and off with the pitch was Towns. So Towns is doubled off with that line drive. So the Blue Devils, no runs on 1 hit in the inning. We go to the top of the 8th inning. Blue Devils leading 8-5. Thanks for joining me today. Be sure and like, subscribe, and ring the notification bell so you'll be notified every time we make an upload or go live. Thanks again. All right, to the top of the 8th inning we go. Kraft, Mitchell, and Meredith scheduled up for the Wolves of Metropolitan Community College. Kraft has struck out, popped out, and reached on a base on balls. Swing and a miss of that first pitch from Oravets. 0-1 the count. There's a strike right down the middle for strike 2 called. We speed up the game by limiting the amount of times that a batter can ask for timeouts, and then we lengthen the game by the umpire having to step up, pull out his pen and his notepad and write that down, and we just spent more time than we saved. 0-2 the count. That's outside and in the dirt. That sounded a little like a grumpy old man, didn't it? We do some things sometimes to speed things up, and they cost us more time than they save. There's a ground ball headed at Tolk. Tolk's up with it and over to Santiago for the 6-3 ground out. Maybe I just like the game and not worry so much about the hurry, and that could be my age involved with that. That's going to bring up Mitchell. Mitchell had a double with 2 RBI when he pinch hit earlier. That was in the 6th.
Number 38, Mitchell.
Mitchell is up there with 1 out and nobody on. Way out in front of that one. Top of the 8th inning action. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Foul ball into shallow left field. Tolk goes out and takes care of that for the 2nd out of the inning.
Next up, the center fielder, number 30, Luke Meredith.
That's going to bring up Luke Meredith. He is 0 for 4 on the day. Excuse me, 0 for 3. He was hit by a pitch. There's a strike right through there. Then he popped out a couple of times. One of them was on a diving play by Spencer Smock coming in from center field to take away a hit. Looks like maybe Colton Kirkham excuse me, has come in to catch, but that play was made by Perry for the 3rd out of the inning. So we go to the bottom half of the 8th. The Blue Devils leading 8-5. All right, Tolk, Santiago, and Nolan the fourth scheduled up for the Blue Devils. Back to the mound is Palachek for the Wolves. Strike called. Tolk is 1 for 4 on the day. He had an RBI base hit in the bottom of the sixth. That misses for ball one. So Tolk leads off the bottom of the eighth inning. There's a ground ball headed at Sosa Quintana, and he's up with it and over to Bell for the 5-3 ground out. That's going to bring up Santiago. Santiago is 1 for 3 on the day with a walk and an opposite field solo home run. Fouls that one straight back to the screen. See the shift plan for him to pull. So ball headed to deep right field. That's going to be the warning track. Taken by, and Morris had moved to the left. So sure who is in right. But 2 outs after that, ground out and the fly out. That's going to bring up Nolan the fourth. Nolan the fourth is 2 for 4 on the day. He had a couple of base hits. He steps in with 2 outs and nobody on. Breaking ball 1-0 to the outside. The 1-0 pitch is a ground ball, and that's going to be taken by the shortstop. Cole gets rid of it quick, but that's going to be an infield hit for Nolan the fourth. So that's going to bring up Perry. Perry will step in with 2 outs and a runner at first base. Perry is 1 for 3 with a base hit. 2 outs, runner at first. That's in the dirt, nicely blocked by Kraft. Want to know the count on the third baseman, Cade Perry. Way outside. Kraft had a notion to zip the ball down to first, decided better. Breaking ball stays up high. Bottom of the eighth inning action. Blue Devils leading 8-5. 3-0 the count on Perry. Strike called. 3-1 the count. Breaking ball lifted into right field. Coming on to take that is the right fielder, so no runs on 1 hit. No errors and 1 left on. We go to the top of the 9th inning. The Wolves need 3 to keep this thing going. Blue Devils want to shut it down and win her 8-5. We'll be back. Pitching change has been made by the Blue Devils. Gavin Killian will come in and be asked to shut this thing down and close it out. He's from Hughesville, Missouri. Killian has a 3.74 ERA. His record is 5-2. He has 11 appearances, 7 games that he's played in, 45 2/3 of an innings that he has pitched. Morris, Cole, and Bell scheduled up. First pitch from Killian is a swing and a miss by Colin Morris. Morris is 2 for 3 with a walk and a couple of base hits. One of those hits was a bunt hit. 1-1 the count on Colin Morris. Started out in right field, moved over to left during some of the pinch hit changes. There's a swing and a miss. 1-2 the count. Swing and a miss for the strikeout. Gonna send it down and around for the around the horn after the strikeout. It's going to bring up Broxton Cole, shortstop for the Wolves. He is 0 for 3, but he was hit by a pitch in the first inning. There's a strike right through there. So Killian comes in and gets the first of the 3 outs he needs. There's a line drive laced into left field. Nolan up with that and gets it in quickly. So the 1-out base hit by the third baseman, Cole. It's going to bring up Jackson Bell. Bless you over there. Bell fouled out to Santiago over by the first base dugout his first time up. It's a ground ball paid. Perry is going to take it and over to Barham, not Barham, actually Finley. Over to Finley. Finley now at second base for the fielder's choice. That's going to bring up Sosa Quintana. Jesus Sosa Quintana. He's 1 for 2, had a sac fly, a base hit. He did reach on an error one time. There's a wild pitch, and Kirkham not able to keep that one close enough to keep the runner from moving to second. So Bell, who reached on the fielder's choice, moves down to second. So down to their last out for the time being, with Bell down there at second base. 2 outs and the bunt off the foot of Sosa Quintana. So 1-1 the count on him. The Wolves down to their last out. Strikeout and a fielder's choice. 1-1 the count. Killian on the mound. It's a ground ball at Perry. Bobbles it a little, loads up the rifle, shoots it across to Santiago for the 5-3 ground out.
Final score, Blue Devils 8, Wolves 5. We'll be back here tomorrow for a
So the Blue Devils win it
first game begins at noon.
8-5. The Blue Devils will be back here tomorrow, as just announced by the public address announcer, and Highland will be here for the first two of this weekend set, moving it forward to Winsley due to the rain possibilities on Thursday. Still at this time looking to play down up in Highland at 7, on Friday. So that's the final from here today. The Blue Devils take this one 8-5. Thanks for your help, guys. Have a great day. We'll catch you next time. We'll be here tomorrow. Join me tomorrow. Thanks for being here today. See you tomorrow. Thank you.